Okay, good morning, everyone. We are on Beis and Beis and CHULLIN. Zok the Gemara. Yesterday, if you remember, we spoke about Rabba Bar Ula. And that's really the first line in our chart over here. If you have the chart, so we said Hakol Shochtin. Who's that talking about? A Tamei person. What does that mean? Hakol Shochtin lechatchila. A Tamei person can shech CHULLIN. Even if there's a person who cares about it being prepared on the level of Tara, that they want to make sure that it's Tara, that has the Tara of Kodesh, nevertheless, a Tamei person can shech, he just needs to be careful not to touch it. B'di'eved, we said that a Tamei person can shech, b'di'eved, he shouldn't, but b'di'eved, after the fact, if he sheched it, kachim, it'll be okay as well, if he didn't touch the meat. And even b'di'eved, it'll be okay. If what? If the slaughterer is no longer present and he can't tell us that he didn't touch the meat, if there were other people that were watching, then b'di'eved it's going to be okay as well. That's his opinion. Says Gemara, Hi Tamei di Tamei b'mai. This guy who's Tamei, who we're saying went ahead and he shechted either again lechatchila CHULLIN or b'di'eved kachim. What was he Tamei from? This is the famous knife question that we mentioned yesterday. Eilima di'idmei b'meis. If you say he was Tamei meis, b'chal al cherev amarachmana. So the Torah says b'chal al cherev, that if you become Tamei, v'chol asher yigal p'nei hasadeh b'chal al cherev o b'meis. You become Tamei from a halal cherev. From a halal is a dead person. Cherev is the cherev. So it makes a diuk that the halal and the cherev are two words that are right next to each other. What does that mean? Cherev hareyu kechalal. A cherev, i.e., a metal object, is like a halal. Avatumahu. It's an avatumah. And what Rashi explains this means is that there's a special diuk in the pasuk of halal cherev that when a piece of metal touches something, it doesn't go down a level. Usually, if I touch a mace, the mace is avi avos hatuma, I become avatuma. When I touch you, you become a rishon l'tuma. And if you touch something else, certain things can become sheni l'tuma, etc. Not everything can become a sheni l'tuma. As he says, Rashi, look at the top Rashi, it's an important Rashi. Tuma shel mace, haru'uyas l'tamei kli kigon. Mace v'hanogea ba'dahave miha avatuma. If somebody touches a mace, this is the mace. If I touch it, I become an avatuma. Im naga behem matachos. If I then touch a knife, nasa kiyotzebo, becomes like me. An avatuma. There's a special rule that even though if I would touch you, you'd become a rishon l'tuma now. If you touch an actual knife, you touch a piece of metal, it attains the same status as you who's touching it. Vim naga v'meis havi avi avos hatuma. If the knife would touch the dead person, it would be an avi avos hatuma. Vim betame meis naga havi av. If it touches me who touched the dead person, then it's an avatuma. Ava rishon v'sheni e mitam and kalim. Kalim cannot become a rishon or a sheni. That means that if I would touch the person and then touch Shleimi, and Shleimi touches a knife, it doesn't become Tamei. Because a Kalim cannot become a Rishon or Sheni L'Tuma. What can? Only food, etc. V'hai sakin nase'av. So now this sakin, which touches me, I'm doing the shchita. Again, I'm the Tamei person who touched the Tamei mace. I touch a mace, I'm a Tamei mace. I have the knife there. This knife is now an avatuma. So what should happen? How can we say, I understand we could say that lechatchila, he can shech CHULLIN. That's not a problem. CHULLIN can be Tamei. But how can we say that lechatchila, he can go ahead and shech CHULLIN that's going to be eaten by somebody who we said yesterday is makbid to only eat Tara? And how can we say that b'di'eved, if he shechs kachim, if he shechs something that's mukdashin, that it's going to be okay? L'maisa, the knife should take on whatever I am. I'm an avatuma here, and therefore the knife should be an avatuma as well. Says the Gemara, it must be what? L'tamei l'sakin v'azal sakin v'titamei l'basar. So how can this work? Says the Gemara, Ella de'idmei b'sheretz. If you didn't get one of these sheets, please take one before we go further. Rabbi, take one, please. Ella de'idmei b'sheretz. You become Tamei with a sheretz. You have it already. Ella de'idmei b'sheretz. It means I didn't touch a dead person. I touched a sheretz. What happens when I touch a sheretz? When the sheretz is not an avatuma, right? A dead person is the avi avos hatuma. The sheretz is not an avatuma. The sheretz is a avatuma, not an avi avos hatuma, right? Dead person is avi avos hatuma. Therefore, when I touch it, I become avatuma. Therefore, the knife becomes an avatuma. The sheretz that I touch, the sheretz is an avatuma. I become a rishon l'tuma. And now when I touch a knife, nothing is problem, because we said that a rishon cannot ruin a knife. We said a rishon cannot ruin a knife. Says the Gemara, therefore, what's the case here when we're talking about a Tamei person shechting CHULLIN or shechting kachim? It's Tamei when I became Tamei from a sheretz, therefore when I touch a knife, nothing happens to the knife, and we're good to go. Or it could be that, again, I touched a mace. How's that possible? If I touch a mace, I become an avatuma, and the knife becomes an avatuma as well. But no, I'm not shechting with a metal knife. I'm shachting with a reed. I'm shachting with I'm shachting with a really sharp reed, which is a pshute klietz. We know that a klietz, something that's not metal, can still become something that's wood can still become tamei, but only if it has a receptacle. Pshute klietz, something like this, which is just a reed. It doesn't have any inner. It doesn't have a receptacle. It doesn't become tamei. So at the end of the day, like it's like a sharp piece of bamboo, like a reed or something. Yeah. Like a very sharp reed that you can cut. Oh, the receptacle is if you take like a piece of wood and you make it into a bowl.
Oh, I see, right.
As opposed to having like a flat piece of something. So it says in Gemara, D'Tanya, Bechol Shochtim, Bein Betzor, Bein Beschuchis, Bein Bekromish Alkan. That's a good question. No, it's a good question. If it has a wood handle, would you transfer it or not? Bechol Shochtim, you could shacht with anything. Betzor, you could shacht with a stone. Beschuchis, with glass. Bekromish Alkan. So you see they can use a kromish Alkan. So again, there's two ways to understand. This is the first opinion yesterday. It's going to be the first of 6 opinions. Rabbi Barula is saying we're talking about a guy who's tamei, who's shachting. Either he became tamei from a mace and he's using a piece of wood, therefore he has no problem with being matami the sakin and then being matami the basar, or he became tamei from a sheretz and therefore when he touches the knife, he doesn't go ahead and transfer it.
Only things that become tamei are food and metal?
Keli becomes tamei, but food is the only thing that can become a tamei from a rishon l'tama.
But stuff like wood, stones, nothing.
Right, they're not going to become tamei, correct. Except, again, if they have a receptacle, then they could become tamei. Abaye amar hachi kitani. So Abaye is a second opinion now. Says Gemara, Kol shochtin, vafilu kusi. So he doesn't learn like this. He says that when it says in our Mishnah, Hakol shochtin, everyone can go, lichatchila, even a kusi. Kusi was a tribe who sort of were Jewish, right? They went ahead and they converted, but as we'll see, there's a machlokes whether it was a good conversion or not. And Lamaisa, they kept some of the Torah, not all of the Torah. So the question is, Hakol shochtin, can a kusi shech lechatchila? So Abaye says a kusi is allowed to shech lechatchila. B'medvar mumikishe Yisrael omed al gabav. As long as a Jew is standing on top of him, he can shech lechatchila. Vayotze v'nichnas. If a Jew goes in and out, this is very halacha l'maisa by restaurants and stuff. If he goes out and in, why would Yotze v'nichnas work going in and out? Because the guy is afraid to do anything wrong. If he knows that somebody can just show up at any time, Yotze v'nichnas lo yishchot. So again, when it says Hakol shochtin, we're trying to figure out our Mishnah. Hakol shochtin u'shchitas sheira lechatchila b'di'evet. Hakol shochtin lechatchila, even a kusi can shech lechatchila, as long as there's a Jew watching him. However, what? B'di'eved aval yotze v'nichnas lo yishchot v'imshach ad chote kazayis basar v'nosein lo. B'di'eved, again, he can't shecht if nobody's watching him. B'di'eved, if he shechs when nobody's watching him, but a Jew is yotze v'nichnas, then what? V'imshach ad chote kazayis basar v'nosein lo. You cut off a piece of the meat and you say, here, you eat it. Achlo mutter lechol mishchitaso, lo achlo asu lechol mishchitaso. Very, very interesting halacha. If he eats it, fine. If not, not fine. Why? Look at Rashi, the kusi. Afilu kusi. Look at Rashi. We'll explain in a second. Mosfin lo behema lechatchila lishchot. Rashi, you can give a kusi a behema to shecht because you assume he's going to shecht it the right way. The mitzvah shech ziku bahi. It's a mitzvah that they took seriously upon themselves. It's interesting again because if that's true, then why would you need to have a Jew standing over him? Right. But nevertheless, lechatchila, we say that he takes it seriously, but we still want to make sure that we're still a little bit nervous. So shrita, we need to make sure that he's doing it right.
Maybe it's just for himself. He takes it.
Maybe.
Right.
Well, 1 second. You're jumping ahead. Aval Yisrael yotze v'nichnas lo yimso lo lishchot. If Yisrael is not standing there the entire time, you can't let him shecht. Why? De'af agav dehuchzal gubal la'atzmam. Even though they keep themselves seriously, ein makbidin im yochlu Yisrael nevelos. They're not the best people. They don't mind. For them, they're makbid. Hopefully nobody we could think of. For them, they're makbid. For other people, they don't care. They don't believe in this lifnei iver. Right? It's like the people that don't believe in the oral Torah, in certain senses. Lifnei iver means you can't put a stumbling block in front of everybody. They understand it literally. You just can't put a stumbling block in front of a blind person. So what's the pshat over here? Pshat is that we sort of trust him, but we don't trust him. So again, lechatchila hakol shochtin, and we're going to see why people don't like Abaye, because it seems to make not a lot of sense. So what's happening now? You have a kusi who we trust for himself, but don't trust for others. Therefore, as long as we're standing on top of him and watching him, we could trust for himself. We could trust him if we're watching him. Lechatchila hakol shochtin, as long as the Yisrael is watching him. If we're not watching him and we're yotze v'nichnas, and again, it's not going to make sense to me in a second. If we're yotze v'nichnas, then it's okay. B'di'eved. Why? Not b'di'eved okay. It's okay if then what happens? Then we get here, we weren't there the whole time. So now we say, okay, Kusi, you just shechted. So now, we know he cares about himself, not about us. So what do we do to test him? give him a piece of the meat that he shechted. Because for our purposes, if he says, yo, you guys can eat it, then we can't trust him. But if he eats it himself, then we know that it's good because he would never eat non-kosher himself. Now, the problem that I have with this pshat, and the problem that we're going to have in a second, why then do you need yotzei v'nichnas? That's the problem that we're going to have with this question. If you don't trust him, then yotzei v'nichnas shouldn't work. And really, Omed Agabav, the point is that Omed Agabav works because you're actually watching him. So if you watch him, Omed Agabav, in essence, is saying we don't trust the guy. And the only reason L'chachile it works is because any Joe Schmo can shecht it if everybody's watching. And Kusi might just, in that opinion, might just be standing for Hakol Shoftin, any Joe Schmo, as long as somebody's watching him. So Hakol Shoftin, Kusi with supervision. B'di'eved, Yotzei v'nichnas, and again, we're going to reject this opinion according to some because Yotzei doesn't make sense. But b'di'eved, it's okay as long as he tastes it first. Again, the Yotzei v'nichnas part is the part that's a little bit hard to understand. Why should he have to be Yotzei v'nichnas? But that's b'di'eved. As long as he tastes it and he's willing to eat it. If he said, I'm not willing to eat it, then we ain't eating it either. That's the first part of the Mishnah. Says the Gemara, right. Chutz mecheret shotev v'katan, as we said in the Gemara, da'afilu diava nami lo shema yishu shema yidusu shema yachli. Just going to repeat this every time. Then you have the next part of the Mishnah which says cheret shotev and katan, they can't shecht, right? Why? Even after the fact, if they shechted, it's not going to work because we're afraid that they messed up. V'kulan sheshachtu ahai. And then we have the last part of the Mishnah, which again is the second b'di'evet case. And again, when I say second b'di'evet, it doesn't mean that there's two levels of b'di'evet. There's really two b'di'evets in the Mishnah, as we've been reading the whole time. Hakol shochtin lechatchila u'shchita sankshera b'di'evet. Then chutz mecheret shotev v'katan, which b'di'evet's not going to work. V'kulan sheshachtu v'acherin ronosan. If there's a case where other people are watching him, then shchita sankshera b'di'evet. So who's that? So we said yesterday, and we're going to say it over and over again today, 5 more times, that it doesn't make sense to be talking about the cheret shotev v'katan, because then what would it have said? It wouldn't have said v'im shachtu. It would have said what? It would have said v'im shachtu, not v'kulan sheshachtu. V'kulan sheshachtu ahai. Who's it going on? Eli ma cheret shotev v'katan ala kai v'im shachtu mi b'ilei. Again, back to the Mishnah. If you tell me that we just said that a cheret shotev v'katan doesn't work b'di'evet when nobody's watching them, and then you wanted to say that what? But if somebody was watching them b'di'evet, it would be okay. Then you wouldn't have said v'kulan sheshachtu. You would have said v'im shachtu. We were just talking about a cheret shotev v'katan. Therefore, v'kulan sheshachtu seems to be not a cheret shotev v'katan. Who is it talking about? Eli ma cheret shotev v'katan. Then the language doesn't make sense, as he says here. The linguistics don't make sense. Im shachtu mi b'ilei ela akusi. It's talking about akusi. How could it be talking about akusi? I don't understand. You just told me. L'chadchila akusi can shecht if somebody's watching him. B'di'evet it works if a Jew is yotzei v'nichnas, if he eats it. So then what's the last part? The last part of the Mishnah says, b'di'eved, whoever this person is, b'di'eved, it's okay if somebody was watching him. What do you mean? How could that be a kusi? We just said if somebody's watching him, a kusi is l'chadchila. Ha'amartik she'Yisrael omed al gabav, shachet afil